Hey guys, Nurse Muffin here, trying to make the world a better place by preventing you from being a crappy nurse. I'm making this channel so that I can help to educate newer nurses and people that are in nursing school currently. I'm hoping to educate you guys and pass along some of the information that I've gathered over the last 7 years. That's how long I've been a registered nurse. I love my job. I'm really passionate about what I do, and I'm really looking forward to this opportunity to share with you some of the things that I've learned along the way. If you do like this channel, please subscribe. I'll be posting some more videos. If you guys have any ideas for those videos, please comment down below. Let me know what you want to hear about from me. And if you don't like the channel, please leave me a comment. Let me know if there's something I can do a little bit different. And I'll try to accommodate that. But I really just want to try to help you guys to be the best nurses that you can possibly be, and do that in any way that you guys think that I can help you do that. So the first thing I want to talk about is how to survive nursing school, right? It's summertime, everybody's out enjoying themselves, having a good time, and you're stressed out because you're about to start nursing school for the first time, or you've already gotten through your first 2 semesters and you know what you're getting yourself back into come fall time. And you're just really, really worked up about it because it's a lot of work, it's hard, it's time consuming, it's stressful. Nursing school is not an easy thing to get through. So let me give you guys some tips on what you can do to make that process a little bit easier. Some things that I did, some things that I wish I had done a little bit differently, and give it a try. See if this helps, and let me know if it does. Okay. So my first tip is to take care of yourself. Okay, and by this I mean eating properly, getting a little bit of exercise, and getting enough sleep. Now, I'm very much into fitness and I'm not trying to push that on anybody, but I think it's important to be healthy. You're going to function better if your body is in good shape, okay? So, 30 to 45 minutes, moderate intensity exercise, 5 times a week is plenty, okay? You don't have to lift 1,000 pounds and do all this crazy stuff. Just a little bit of activity, whether it's taking your dog for a walk or jumping on the treadmill, or if you do want to get a gym membership and start lifting some weights and doing that kind of thing. Whatever works for you, whatever's going to fit into your life better and that you're going to stick to. This has got to be something that you're going to do on a regular basis. It's going to become part of who you are. Okay. Same thing goes with eating. Okay. Nursing school is time consuming. You feel like you're always rushing around, and fast food is the easiest way to get a meal in you. And fast food is just not what our bodies are meant to live off of. It's just not good for us. It bogs us down. I know it bogs me down. It makes me tired after I eat it. Sits in my stomach until it disappears, and then I'm starving again. And I'm going to get more fast food. Okay, so I'm a big fan of meal prepping, and it doesn't sound as complicated as what some of these people try to make it out to be. When I'm cooking dinner for the family, instead of cooking for four, I'm cooking for 20. And I take all that extra food and I put it in Tupperwares and I stick it in the fridge, do the same thing the next day, and then I've got almost a week's worth of food, healthy food in the fridge, ready to eat. Just got to throw it in the microwave for a minute, and you're good to go. And that's how I make sure that I eat healthy. If I have it in there and ready to go, and I don't have to spend all this time every single day cooking, trying to eat healthier, it just makes it a lot easier for me. Okay, so whatever method you try to use, just try to stay away from packaged foods as much as possible and from fast food. I know it's not going to be possible always. There's going to be times where things happen, which is fine. You can enjoy yourself too, and have some desserts and that kind of thing. But as a rule of thumb, try to make healthier food choices with most of your meals. You're going to feel the impact of it, I promise you. And then with sleep, sleep is a big one for me, okay? I'm a guy that needs at least 7 or 8 hours a night so that I can function properly throughout the day. I hear people talking about they get 3, 4 hours of sleep, and, I can see it in their performance. When I'm well rested, even though it does take more time to get more sleep, obviously, when I am trying to do something, I do it so much more effectively if I'm well rested and I'm taking care of myself. Okay, so this is a big one, guys. Really try to adjust your lifestyle to incorporate being healthy, and you're going to feel more productive. That study time is going to really be effective. You're going to remember things that you're learning about, and they're going to stick with you a lot easier as opposed to feeling tired and run down and forgetful and having to go over the same thing over and over because you just can't get it to stick. My second tip is to get into a good routine, okay? And by this I mean when I wake up in the morning, I have a pretty good idea of what my day is going to look like. I know when I'm going to eat. I know when I'm going to work out. I know when I'm going to go to work. I know when I'm going to go take my son to do something fun. I know when the wife and I are going to have a date. I have a pretty good idea of what my days look like throughout the week. And it might sound a little boring to you, but nursing school is only a couple of years, guys. If you can just buckle down and get through it, you've got the rest of your life to be unscheduled and live how you want to. But, if you're anything like me, you'll actually grow to enjoy the routine and you'll prefer to live your life that way if you're like me. Um, so if studying works better for you when your kids are sleeping because they're young and they need your attention when they're awake, make your mornings before they get up and your nights when they go to bed and you're still awake, make that your study time, okay? When it's quiet and you have that time, if you're like me and you need to be around people when you study, you can incorporate that with some activity. Take your friends and their kids and your kids for a walk, and you guys can discuss what you read the night before, but have a good routine. Make sure that you're not questioning what your days are going to look like, where you wake up and you just don't know where to get started. When you wake up, you should know what your first thing is going to be, whether it's getting your exercise in, whether it's cracking a book, whether it's practicing NCLEX questions, whether it's preparing your meals for the day. Whatever works for you, just make sure it's consistent so that you get into that good groove and you can just kind of slide through this process a little bit easier, okay? My next tip is to figure out your learning style. Now, this one was a really big one for me because when I got into nursing school, they gave me this huge stack of books that was just as tall as I was. And I just knew that I wasn't going to be able to learn that way. This is not my first time in school, and here I am staring at this stack of books that I had never seen a pile of books like this for one course before. And it was a little bit overwhelming. I sat down and I tried to read. We had reading assignments every day, and the truth is, I just can't gather information from a book like that. Now, I'm not illiterate. I can read a novel, I can follow the story, but when it comes down to trying to teach myself from a book, it just does not work for me. I'll start reading, and when I get to the bottom of the page and I'm getting ready to go to the next page, I realize I didn't gather any information from that at all. I couldn't remember what I had read. So I'd go back and read and read and read and read, and I'd be on page one forever because it was just separate words to me. It just wasn't forming sentences, it wasn't forming thoughts for me. And that's because I found out that I'm an auditory learner. If I hear somebody explain something, it's going to stick really well for me. Even to this day, when I'm at work, I can still hear my instructor's voice talking about different topics. And that works well for me. So, I would get with a group of people before class and we would discuss things that we had learned, read about, and that would help things stick for me. Luckily, I had some people in nursing school that could learn from reading a book. And then I would learn from them telling me about what they read. And that's just what worked for me. I wasn't trying to bypass any work or anything like that. I just couldn't get the information out of a book that way. So figure out your learning style and focus your efforts on that so that you're effectively gathering the information and you're not spinning your wheels trying to do things a certain way because you think that's how it has to be done. Whatever works for you is what works for you, and stick with it. That's why I'm making these videos, because when I was in nursing school, I didn't really go on the internet a lot to look for videos explaining different topics to me, and I wish that I had. Because now, if there's something I want to learn, that's how I do it. If I want to learn how to fix something on my truck, I get on YouTube and I watch a video and I watch somebody tell me how they do it and explain why they're doing it. And then I can do it from that on. That's it. I've got it down. And I wish I had had that in nursing school. So that's what I'm trying to provide to you guys, okay? We will get into some specific topics, whatever you guys want to cover, ABGs, electrolytes, you name it. Whatever you guys want to know about, we'll do a video on, and I'll try to explain it to you so that you can gather that information, in a manner that's going to work for you, okay? Now that brings me into my next tip, is to make some good friends, okay? And with my learning style, that was imperative. If I have to hear people discuss things in order to learn, I needed those people that were going to be willing to discuss what they had read with me. And I had some amazing friends in nursing school. We're still all friends to this day. I really owe a lot to the people I went to nursing school with. We would get together every day before class. We'd sit in the cafeteria and we would practice questions together, and we would talk about different topics and what we weren't understanding, and maybe somebody did understand it but didn't understand something else, and we would just feed off each other, and having that camaraderie and feeling like you're getting through this with somebody else um, just makes it seem more possible. Because there's going to be times where it's going to seem like it's impossible to get through school. When you have those friends to lean on, it's going to help. And as great as your professors are going to be, they're usually fantastic people. There is a level of professionalism there that they have to maintain. So you can't go to your professor and cry on their shoulder when you're having a hard time because, you've got nursing school and family stuff, and it's all compounding, and you're stressed out and you just need, a shoulder to lean on and somebody to listen to you. It's not really appropriate for an instructor to do that. If you're printing care plans at 11 o'clock at night and all the stores are closed and your printer runs out of ink, you can't call your professor and ask them to print stuff for you. But a good friend is going to do that for you. So find the people in your class that you seem to have similar interests with, that you seem to enjoy being around, and get tight with them. Okay, this is going to be a tough journey, and there is strength in numbers. So form your groups and help each other out. Okay, there's going to be something that you're going to need from somebody, and then maybe you can return that favor, at another time, and help each other to get through this. Okay, it's worth it, guys, and do what you got to do to help each other get through this. Okay. And that brings me into my last tip for today, and that's to maintain some sense of spirituality. Now, I'm not trying to push religion on you. I don't want you to believe in any one dogma or the other, but to realize the big picture here of what we're doing, what nursing entails, is important. It's extremely important, because this is not an easy career choice. If you're in this for a paycheck or for whatever reason, notoriety, you're getting into it for the wrong reasons. This is a higher calling, I believe. What we do is on a different level than other careers that you might choose. You're going to be there for people during their hardest times. You're going to be there for people at the end of their life. You're going to be there for their families after they pass. And it's hard to put into words what that feels like to be that person that is there for them. And people, you guys that have been there know exactly what I'm talking about. Those who haven't, hopefully someday you guys will understand what a blessing it is to be able to really comfort and try to get somebody through something like that, some life-changing event, some, scary diagnosis or loss of a loved one, or whatever it may be. Okay. And it can weigh heavy on the soul, the stress of school and the pile of emotions that nurses deal with on a daily basis is a lot for a person to deal with. And to be able to remind yourself that there's more to it than what we see, and that there's a bigger calling to this, and that you have a purpose, that this is important, that you are making a difference, it is going to be important to remember that. So keep that sense of spirituality. Believe in your heart that you're doing this for the good of yourself and for other people. Because if you're just looking at crunching numbers and making a paycheck and having a career path, you're going to have a very tough time in nursing. This is a job that requires a lot of heart and a lot of compassion and a lot of spirituality if you want to be good at it and you want to be effective at it. So, I don't care what your spirituality is, but find something. If you like going to church, that's great. If you don't need to go to church to have spirituality in your life. Meditation, sitting out in nature, just appreciating that there's some things out there that we don't understand, but that touch us in a way that we need to be aware of. We need to be aware of the fact that, what we do, how we heal people and how we treat people is important, whether it affects our paycheck or not. Okay. So just try to maintain that, guys. It's going to help you get through some of those tough times, because there is going to be tough times in this career, and my spirituality has gotten me through it. So I'm going to wrap this video up. I really appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, if there's anything that you want me to discuss in detail, certain topics that you're struggling with school, you let me know and we'll go through that. I'll get some, a whiteboard, and we'll really go through, and I'll try to educate you actually on medical, specifics and the nursing process throughout different diseases and whatever you guys want to know about. Let me know if you want to hear about how to handle things emotionally or how to manage time, just comment below. Let me know what kind of videos you want me to start putting out, and I'll try to get those out to you. If you like the channel, again, subscribe, share it with your friends, let them know that I'm here trying to help out. That's what I'm really trying to do here, guys. I'm trying to make this for you nursing students and you newer nurses that feel like you could use a different point of view and maybe a different explanation on some things so you can be the best nurses that you can possibly be. All right. And if you don't like the channel, please let me know what I can do different because I really want to be able to help you guys out. And I appreciate your time and look forward to seeing you again soon.